So let's talk about something that might surprise you. We're going to dive into a confession from a seasoned landlord, someone who built their entire portfolio on real estate. But now, they're having some serious second thoughts. And honestly, their story might just make you rethink your own strategy. Let's get into it.
I mean, just read that. For a real estate pro to say that, it kind of flies in the face of everything you hear, right? The whole idea is that being hands-on is how you win. So when a veteran says their set it and forget it investments are suddenly doing better, you got to ask, what on earth happened? And this huge shift in thinking, it didn't come from some fancy spreadsheet or a new market analysis. Nope, it started with a single dreaded phone call, the kind every single property owner has nightmares about.
$22,000. Just let that number hang in the air for a second. That's not a down payment. It's not a new investment. It's a bill, a completely unexpected gut punch of a bill. For what, you ask?
That's it. One broken sewer line, that's what spiraled into a five-figure disaster. And this, right here, is the perfect example of the dark side of real estate nobody likes to talk about. It's not all rent checks and appreciation. Sometimes it's a crisis that can just vaporize your profits overnight.
And you know what? That repair was just the tip of the iceberg. The real costs of being a landlord are all the things you don't see. It's not just the 22 grand. It's the weeks you burn waiting for permits, fighting with the city, all the red tape, and through it all, that constant nagging stress that the next disaster is literally just one phone call away.
This whole ordeal forces a really fundamental question. You know, we always talk about ROI, return on investment, in these purely financial terms. But what about the other stuff? What about the cost to your time, your energy, your actual peace of mind?
And this leads us to a huge economic idea, a really core concept that explains everything. It's all about opportunity cost.
So here's the key thing to get about opportunity cost. It's not about the money you already spent. It's about the invisible potential of the road you didn't take. Every single hour you spend arguing with a contractor is an hour you couldn't spend with your family or building another business. Every dollar that's tied up fixing a sewer is a dollar that couldn't be growing somewhere else.
This is opportunity cost in real human terms. The true price of that sewer repair wasn't just $22,000. It was all the sleepless nights, the stressful phone calls, the weekends that were just completely ruined by worry. That is a real cost, and it absolutely has to be part of the equation.
Okay, so if the active path of being a landlord is just so draining, what's the alternative? Well, this is where we get to compare it head-to-head with passive investing.
And when you lay it out like this, it's pretty stark, isn't it? It's like two completely different worlds. On one side, you've got the landlord, who's basically a full-time firefighter, high stress, huge time commitment. And on the other side, the passive investor, low stress, minimal time, you just set it and forget it. The difference in your actual day-to-day life is just massive.
And we're not talking about some complicated secret strategy here. We're talking about things like S&P 500 index funds, just betting on the top companies in America, or other stocks and bonds. The key is, these are assets that don't call you on a Saturday morning because the toilet is overflowing.
And that's the word. That's the whole ball game right there. Ease. Passive investing lets your money work for you instead of you constantly, stressfully working for your money. No tenants, no permits, no broken pipes. Just growth happening quietly in the background. And often, that quiet growth ends up beating the pants off a problem-plagued property.
So, this all brings us to the final, and I think maybe the most important takeaway from this whole story. Something we're going to call the sanity cost. It really suggests a whole new way of doing the math. A true ROI, a real one, can't just be about the dollars and cents. You have to subtract the stress. You have to subtract the time. You have to subtract the mental energy you're pouring into it.
And look, this is a question for every single one of us, not just landlords. In your job, in any project you take on, what's the real return once you factor in the cost to your own well-being?
And this is the final verdict. After the huge repair bill, the endless delays, and all that worry, the conclusion was crystal clear. The numbers on the spreadsheet might have looked okay at first, but once that sanity cost was added to the expense column, the investment was officially a loser.
So, we'll leave you with this question to chew on. It's really easy to see the money leaving our bank account, right? But it's so much harder to see the other things we're losing, the opportunities we're missing. So ask yourself, what are you spending your time, your energy, and your sanity on? And more importantly,
What is it really costing you?